Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing great. Before we get into the content of this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to look at some of the attempts made by human beings to reduce the negative effects of hurricanes. I've got about 7 different things that human beings have managed to put in place in order to reduce the number of deaths or to reduce the negative effects in general of hurricanes. However, despite all these efforts, cyclones still manage to kill thousands of people each and every year, especially in low-income countries. The first one is our geostationary satellites, and these are basically mechanical devices that are placed about 35,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and because they're so high up, they allow us to see 1/3 of the Earth. However, for now, it's only the developed countries, so our high-income countries, that are able to implement such high levels of technology, with most of our developing countries being unable to do the same because it's quite a costly procedure. So basically, our geostationary satellites take pictures from above and send images to our Earth-based stations on an hourly basis, and with time, a time-lapse video can be created, and this makes it easier to get a general overview of the development and the movement of a cyclone with time. Now we move on to our radar systems, and radar stands for radio detection and ranging. These are basically echo sounding systems that rely on radio signals. So your radio signals are sent from your radar center into the surroundings, and once they meet a barrier, for example, droplets in the air, these droplets reflect your radio signals, and the further away your storm is, the longer your reflection would take to return, and this gives you a rough estimate of how far away your storm is. Now we move on to our light detection and ranging systems, and these basically work in a similar way to our radar systems, except we're dealing with light in this case. So light is detected from cyclonic clouds, and this then allows people to detect a cyclonic storm that is at most 2,000 kilometers away. Another way to reduce the negative effects of a hurricane is to locate the position of the hurricane and then to predict the probable path that the cyclone will take. And meteorologists rely on computer systems in some cases, where they rely on previous data to come up with a rough estimate of the path that the cyclone may take, and in some cases they rely on the probability that the cyclone will continue in the same direction as it was traveling in the past 24 hours. However, this process isn't always effective because places such as Mauritius and the Philippines are known to have cyclones that recurve. So basically they change their directions so much that their paths are not the easiest to predict. And an example is in October 2009, the Philippines was hit by the same typhoon 3 times, and this was a result of the recurving of the typhoons. Moving on to research and experiments, we're going to be focusing on the efforts made by the University of Florida, where they managed to generate winds that were just as strong as winds that would be produced during a normal hurricane, and these winds were forced against building material that they had designed in such a way that the material was windproof. And this was basically done in order to test the strength of the material that they had come up with. Educational campaigns are also important as they aid in reducing the number of deaths and injuries when hurricanes occur. For example, the Chinese government has made an effort to launch a number of educational campaigns where they educate the citizens on the steps to take when a cyclone or a hurricane occurs. Then lastly, helicopter evacuations have proven to be very successful in the past. For example, after Cyclone Eileen in 2001, which took place in Mozambique, the South African Air Force and the Royal Air Force aided in rescuing several Mozambican citizens who were stranded, for example, on rooftops or in trees, and this aided in reducing the number of deaths and injuries. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. I hope it was useful to someone. This brings us to the end of this video. Please don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe.